All right, guys, Chris Dimino with 680 The Fan. I don't even know what this thing is called, but I'm going to call it aggravating. This is going to be where you get to watch something. It's not the great things that happen in sports. Sometimes it's the aggravating ones that stick with you the most. This is the Infield fly rule game. It's 2012 first wild card game in baseball history. There's one in the American League, but nobody cares. This is Chipper Jones's last game, and this is the Cardinals and Braves in what turns out to be the biggest bullshit that I've ever seen in person ever in my life at a sporting event.
From the pocket, launching downfield, underthrown, and intercepted.
Reach the 2-1. Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Green.
All right, so how do we get here? Obviously, it's a 6-3 game. 2 on, 1 out. Look at this. Oh, wait. He pulls off it. By the way, Sam Kellogg, the guy who's in left field, and let's talk about this for a second. There were extra umpires in this game, which ends up screwing the Braves. I don't believe the guy, the third base umpire, is making this call. This is a playoff thing where a left field umpire named Sam Kellogg actually makes the call. Here comes Freddie Gonzalez. The umpire's telling him, according to Freddie, I don't want to throw you out, I don't want to throw you out. He's going to file a protest pretty immediately. He's trying to argue about 9 things. You can't call an infield fly when Kellogg believes Cosma's camped under him. It's crowded, it's loud, it's just a bad play by 2 guys. If you look at the reaction of the infielder and outfielder, it's the I thought you. So sometimes crowd noise will come into play. You can't give the benefit of the doubt to anybody in that situation. You couldn't do this on a Tuesday in June, let alone in a playoff game. So what would the Braves have had? They would have had bases loaded, 1 out. Instead, it's 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. So I don't care what anybody says. It's not even just the distance. You can't give guys this kind of break. If you pull off that ball, I'm sorry. I don't care what happened. That's not camped under. Let me tell you what happens when you camp under a baseball and you're a professional baseball player. You catch the baseball. There's Kellogg, that son of a bitch, right there. You notice when he puts up his arm, it's a little bit late now, don't you think? Freddie Gonzalez is told, yeah, you can protest. But here's the kicker of the whole story. I want to tell you where I was. That camera well right next to Freddie Gonzalez. I was taping a documentary about Chipper Jones's last season. I'm in the camera well. Now you realize what's going to happen. They're going to go to the dugout and say, you can't protest. Well, you can, but nothing's going to happen. They talked to Joe Torre, who was in charge of everything, who was in the building that night. Now look, whether you like stuff thrown on the field or not, there's going to be a 15 to 20 minute delay because the fans absolutely know they were screwed. Dan Elder's trying to be calm about it, but he's shaking his head. He's an infielder. He knows. So God's honest truth, here's what happens. 15-minute delay, game ends. They basically say, you can't protest under the guys that you want to protest because it's a judgment call. I followed Joe Torre down the hallway. I swear on my kids' 4 eyes. Followed him down the hallway because they had to have a press conference about this. The ump had to speak. Joe Torre had to speak. The Braves were basically told that night, yeah, judgment call, you can do what you want, but we're not gonna do anything about a protest. I'm telling Joe Torre as I'm following down the hall, Joe, you got to fix this. I swear to God, I remember this. It's 11 years ago now. I remember this like it was yesterday. You've got to fix this. Joe Torre and I talked about this 2 or 3 times afterwards. I'm still annoyed. Look at this. That's a miscommunication. That's a problem by professional baseball players that you don't get to fix or bail them out. And the idea, look, there's debris and Freddie's got to now remain calm and you got to play the rest of the game. We're going to do the paperwork on a filing of a protest. I get all that stuff. It was going to fall on deaf ears because we were told that night it was going to fall on deaf ears. Yeah, P, he's a protester, but I get it. Hey, get back behind the plate. This guy, Jeff Kellogg, somebody should have told Sam Holbrook you're wrong, but nobody did. So now we got to get on the phone, and now we got to talk to people to make this official. An effort in futility. You know what that is? That's the look of a man who knows that something just went wrong and somebody was screwed, but he ain't going to do anything about it. And by the way, Holbrook, in 2019, when the Braves played the Cardinals, guess who the crew chief was in the NLDS? It was Sam Holbrook. I wouldn't have let him in the building. Joe Torre got inducted in, listen, I don't want to say this. Joe Torre got inducted into the Braves Hall of Fame. I got to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have done it. And I like Joe Torre, except for this. All right, get off the phone. We got a game we got to play.
Closer to the middle of the field and out of harm's way. So clearly,
Everybody's talking about what is going on, and they're all trying to figure out how do you. The play is the play.
If he goes over to Mike Matheny, this is going to be.
Now you got to talk to Mike Matheny, handsome Dan, Mike Matheny, good-looking fella, by the way. He's probably the best-looking manager in baseball there for a little bit. What's he care? You can tell him anything he wants. He's on the right end of this one. Game's being played on a protest. Mike Matheny don't care. He knows they're not going to do anything.
No argument.
But he's got the sack to make this thing right.
And no base runner.
All right, and guess what happens? Braves lose. Yeah, the Braves lose. Look, I don't know if they would have won the game. You don't know if they would have won the game. Nobody's claiming they would have won the game. Just not given an opportunity to win the game is the thing that stinks this many years later. So, yeah, Sam Holbrook, you can go kick rocks. Jeff Kellogg, you can go kick rocks. Pete Cosmo, I was under it. Pete Cosmo, to this day, I was under it. All right, then why'd you pull off? Matt Holliday, don't worry. They're going to call an infield fly rule. He was the smartest guy in the room. He was telling everybody supposedly that on the Cardinals team. And then the protest wasn't a protest. And Joe Torre, I haven't forgotten. I know. You're Italian and everything else, but I haven't forgotten. Should have fixed it that night. You had the power. Should have just said, screw job. Replay the whole thing. Loaded bases. 1 out. 6-3. Go. And thanks, Anderson Simmons. Stupid pop-up. It's another thing. Hit a fucking line drive, and maybe we're not in the situation. 3 errors that night, too.
You good?
Yeah. I'm in the camera well. Stuff's flying over my head. And by the way, if you're going to throw stuff, seriously, if you're going to throw stuff on the field, make sure you can reach the field. A lot of innocent kids got hit by crap that night, too. She couldn't reach the field. If you're sitting 48 rows back and all of a sudden you're reliving your glory days of your big arm, probably not going to happen. You're going to hit somebody in row 31. Watch that happen, too. All right. Well, that's that. Hopefully I never watch that play again. Let me tell you this, though. If I ever bump into Sam Holbrook, I got something for him, too. It's right here. And I might get him with this one, too. I don't condone violence, but every once in a while, you got to take this crap in your own hands. All right, I'm done.
From the pocket, launching downfield, underthrown.
Don't turn that camera off. Hold on. I got one other thing for these people. You fine folks deserve to see this. I wish I could tell you that this was made up. It's not. I want you to see. This is like the beginning of Twitter, like before it was bought by anybody and before, whatever it was. I have no idea. But the MLB folks had their own account. I want you to see. This is the actual MLB Twitter account. Right as this is going on. You see what that says? That's the official MLB account. It's got a blue check mark back in the days when I don't even know. This is what they put on their own account. We don't understand the infield fly rule either. That's MLB telling you that. Now, they quickly changed it. I'll tell you what it said right after that. They have, is that the one? Yeah, hold on. Oh, official Twitter account of Major League Baseball. Our lawyers made us post sweepstake rules. I don't even know what that means, but you know what they took out? They took out, we don't understand the infield fly rule either. That alone will tell you that the protest should have actually stood. And that something was going on in Atlanta that night. All right, that's it. I'm done.